Say it now. Say the obvious prediction right now.
The Stars are going to win the Stanley Cup.
Hey guys, welcome back to Sarcastic Remarks. Alongside Chris, my brother, my name is Ryan. I apologize for being gone for the last 2 games, but work sometimes has to take precedent over other things. But unfortunately tonight, guys, the Dallas Stars fall into the series 3-2. Oilers are going back to Edmonton with a chance to close out the series against the Dallas Stars in the Western Conference Final. They win Game 5 by a final score of 3-1. Chris, put into words what you're feeling right now.
Y'all remember Game 2 of Vegas? Yeah, this is worse. I know we're only down 1 game, but this is way worse. You saw 6 of the worst periods of Stars hockey that we've seen played in the past 2.5, 3 months, maybe. So anything can change immediately. This series has proven that more than any series that we've played, but those 6 periods do not look good.
I just have zero faith in this team right now to win the series. And it's not like when we were down 2-0 where we have opportunities and room to make mistakes. You have zero room to make mistakes now. You have to win 2 games and in order to get to the Stanley Cup final. There's a lot of people that are, looking for people to blame, looking for, you could point at lots of different things. And honestly, right, I'll become flat out honest. Right before getting on here and talking on a podcast with you, Chris, I was just about ready to just unleash. At this point, now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think it does any good, because really, truly, what's going on right now, Chris, is the better team is winning the series. That's what it is. The Stars are not the better team in this series. Edmonton is playing straight in, or Dallas is playing straight into Edmonton's hand. They did the exact same thing they did against them in Game 4, and that they've done all series long. And the Stars haven't looked good. They have not been the better team in the series.
Yeah, and the fact that we talked about the Stars' two biggest advantages that they had in this series was their goaltending and their depth. And each game we see one line going. I mean, game 3, we had Robertson and Rope going, and that was great. In the past 2 games, it's been Jamie Benn, the 2 young guys, and that's been the only lines going. And there's been no pressure from anywhere else. From any other line, there was no offensive pressure tonight. And then I don't know how Jake Ottinger is getting dominated this badly by Stuart Skinner, but that's pretty embarrassing. I mean, he had the worst numbers.
No.
What are you talking about? The third goal? How does that third goal go in?
Okay, no, I'm gonna push way
Name
back
a
on you
big
on this
save
one,
that he
Chris.
made this game.
No, I don't care about the big save that he made. You're not gonna sit here and trash Ottinger. I'm sorry, but I'm
trashing all of them. They all sucked. Everybody except for the Jamie Benn line was terrible.
No, okay, that is absolutely not fair to single somebody out like that. It's not.
I said everybody sucked. What do you mean I'm singling somebody out?
You were singling out Ottinger and saying that he was playing
Ottinger and everybody sucking.
No. Okay. So here's the deal. Now you riled me up. The Edmonton Oilers have played a full-on team game in the last 2 games against the Stars team. They have taken their worst weakness, which is their goaltending, and have made it a non-factor, a complete 100% non-factor. I'm even doing the movement with the whole Trump hands thing. He's not a factor in the series. The Stars are not shooting the puck. What the heck is going on?
And yet Stuart Skinner still makes 4 fantastic point-blank saves in this game.
Okay, he did it in 1 period. That's all they needed him for. They didn't need him in the other 2 periods. The Stars didn't do anything.
What we got from Otter? None. We didn't get any saves from Otter.
Okay, well, Otter shouldn't.
Oilers are held below 30 shots.
Okay, well, Otter
we allowed 3 goals.
Otter also gave up 2 power play goals where they're not his fault, and the penalty kill has sucked in today's game.
Didn't get a save. No.
I'm sorry, you can't you can't just say, "Oh, well, Ottinger this."
Was Otter good? Was Otter good?
No, but nobody was good.
Then we agree.
But I don't like the way that you're like jumping on Ottinger, saying he played like
I'm gonna jump on everybody. It's been 5 minutes. Give me a chance.
Okay. Sorry, I'm so hacked off and pissed off at this team right now because just every last person was complete and 100% trash. And Nate, exactly my thoughts. Everyone was trash. The Stars were trash. Yeah. And that's the frustrating thing. The more than anything is where was the team that we saw in the first 2 series? Like, we haven't seen them once in this series, and we still had this series tied at 2. We play somewhat better than we are right now. And, maybe the series looks different. But the word that keeps coming to my mind, Chris, is they just look gassed. They look completely
they look done.
Out of gas. They look done. And that's the thing that scares Dallas Stars fans more than anything right now is the fact there's no pushback. There's 0 pushback. And even when the Stars got a goal which, by the way, was an amazing tip, which it kind of seems moot point right now because it was an incredible tip. It was an incredible tip, but no one's talking about it because of the way the Stars played.
Yeah, even so, it was 2.5 minutes and the Stars were hemmed in their own zone. Couldn't pull their goalie because they were stuck in their own end by the Oilers. The Stars went into the 3rd period down by 3 goals in Game 5 of the Western Conference Final and were outshot. The Stars were outshot in the 3rd period when they were down by 3 goals. That is amazing.
And not the good kind of amazing either.
The biggest thing. What sucks about this is all we're going to hear all weekend long is how amazing the Oilers are the past 2 games. And they played good. They have played well. The Stars have played the worst 2 games we have seen in 3 months. And all we're going to hear is just how great the Oilers are and how they shut them down. And not how dirt awful the Stars have been. And these 2 games have been horrible. I think for how good I thought the coaching was in the first 3 games of this series, the past 2 games have just been awful. I think having Pavelski on that line with Marchment and Duchesne has just absolutely nuked it. I mean, it is gone. That line doesn't exist. Pavelski gets a puck that dribbles to him out of nowhere, wide open, right next to the slot in the second period, falls off of his stick, no shot on goal. He had half the net to shoot at, and it just falls off of his tape. That's been happening all playoffs. Pavelski has
Duchesne
been
on that
a complete
opportunity in the
non-factor.
third period,
Exactly.
right by CC and past the puck.
Yeah,
You
and that's
are
the other thing.
freaking Matt Duchesne, and you do not take a shot there.
We had 20 shots on goal, and it was for a lack of trying. They just weren't shooting the puck. On the statistically worst goalie through the first two playoffs, through the first two rounds of the playoffs in NHL history, they decided to try and pass around him. I mean, what is happening there? That's just stupidity. It's idiotic. And they were doing it all game long. Even into the third period, they were still continuing to try and make cute passes across the slot when that's the only place that the Oilers defenders were. They were covering the slot. And anytime a Stars player was in there, anytime the puck went to the net, the Stars player was on his butt in the slot. So I don't know how you don't make an adjustment through 6 periods in your intensity or in your game plan. And yeah, it's awful.
I want to talk about special teams too, because that has been a non-factor for both teams in this series until tonight. The Oilers go 2 for 2 or 2 for 3, excuse me, on the power play, and Dallas 0 for 11 in this series against the Edmonton Oilers. I would not have expected, out of the 3 teams the Stars have played, that this would be the team the Stars could not score a power play goal against.
And the Stars are gifted power play chances to respond, to directly respond to the Edmonton goals. And they can't answer. And the first one doesn't even look good. I mean, the second one at least looked a little bit more dangerous, but and the only way that works is because the Stankoven Johnson Ben line draws that penalty, and then he just leaves him on the ice, even though they've had a full shift because they're the only ones who can produce offense. It's crazy.
They just look like a team without a purpose right now. I don't know what it is or why it is or what needs to be changed, but Pete DeBoer needs to figure something out.
They're losing all their puck battles. They're losing every race to the puck, and there's a non-existent forecheck, and their little chip out of their high flip out of the zone to a cherry picker is no longer working. Oilers are learned how to defend it. They got their 2 defensemen coming back hard and are taking the low shot game, and they're beating us at it. That's how they're playing slower. They're just getting beat.
That's the other thing I noticed about this team tonight, about the Stars, is it didn't matter where. It didn't matter where it was on the ice. When you're watching the TV screen, there's always more Oilers in the view of the camera than there are Stars. And that includes in the puck battles deep behind Ottinger's icing line. If it's a puck battle in the corner, there's 3 Oilers there and there's 2 Stars. Who's going to more than likely come out with the puck? The Oilers. When you look in their own zone, they were always outnumbered. That was the thing I was most frustrated about, especially in the first period.
Even when we're on the power play and we're on 6-on-5, we're getting beat to puck battles. We're outnumbering them and they're still beating us. It's weak play. It is what it is. They're not battling for those pucks on the boards the way they should. They're not racing after pucks on the forecheck. And you wonder how a game looks this lopsided. You don't have a forecheck. You can't pass through the neutral zone, and you can't high flip to a cherry picker because the Oilers are defending it with 2 guys back every single time. I mean, you're not moving the puck. The Stars did not move the puck tonight. The only time they got chances were off of Oilers turnovers, which they kind of had a lot of. And we still only got 20 shots and 1 goal.
What's the answer for this, Chris? I'm sorry. This is over on Sunday in my mind right now, based off of the way the Stars have played the last 2 games. This series is over.
That was gonna be my answer, kind of. You have to play better, and from what we saw the last 6 periods, the Stars are not gonna do that. I mean, you have to fight for pucks better. You have to race after pucks better on the forecheck. That's what it is. The Stars aren't playing up to their potential right now. We've seen this team play better against tougher defense. We saw this in the Vegas series. and they're not able to produce it right now.
I mean, is that a thing? Is it just because this is, I don't think this is a argument at all to say that the Stars have had a harder run to the Western Conference Final than Edmonton has. I think that any relevant hockey fan and normal hockey fan would recognize that. You've played the last 2 Stanley Cup winners. You've beaten them both, and now you're playing against an Edmonton team who is a lot better than a lot of people were saying. So, I told people at the beginning of this series, in the series preview, that that it felt like the Stars were the better team. Now, what are you saying? I told people to be aware of this and that this Oilers team is better than they seem.
In my opinion, I think the Stars as a team they should win this series still on paper, but the Stars have flipped this series on its head. Their depth has not shown up. Their goaltending has not shown up, which we said in the preview was the 2 biggest factors that the Stars had over the Oilers was our depth and goaltending. And those are both in favor of the Oilers right now. So the Stars flipped this series, in my opinion. I think the Stars are losing this more than the Oilers are winning
it. I think both are true.
Both are true. The Oilers are playing really well. They're playing way better than they were in the Vancouver series. 100% true.
It feels like it feels like, I know you're not, but it feels like you're discounting the Oilers when you say that.
Yeah,
we're
not trying to discount the Oilers. The Oilers played 2 perfect games these past 2 games, but they weren't really tested by the Stars, in my opinion.
Right.
There was no push from the Stars in the past 6.
That's what we're super frustrated about, is the fact that we've seen the Stars play way better than this. And I mean, honestly, this whole series, Chris, game 3, which we won, we were down 2-0 and came back, won that game somehow. And since then, it has been nothing but Oilers.
They came back and won because they were winning puck battles, they were winning races, and they were forcing their way through the neutral zone. That's how they won.
But the way
that shows you that the Stars can do it. They
played the same way in game 3, in game 4, and game 5 that they did in the first period of game 3.
Exactly.
They have played 2. They've played 2 decent periods in the last 3 games, and maybe that run in the second period in game 3 saves their season. And looking back, we can talk about how great it was and everything like this, but I don't see it. I don't see it.
Let me go ahead and piss everybody else off with something else too. So that the first penalty on Suter, weak call. Obviously, he pushes McDavid down, and McDavid decides to fall because he got pushed by Suter's left hand. Cool, whatever. McDavid gets up and cross-checks him in the face. But the ref calls for both players to go to the box. He points at Suter, gives him the rough motion. Then he points at McDavid and shows the cross-check. The refs go to the score clock and they decide, no, it's only 1 penalty now. What is that, NHL? That is crazy. They were obviously going to be retaliatory. That would make sense. I mean, you have a slight rough and a slight cross-check. Sure, take them both. But I guess they forgot that it was McDavid who did the cross-check, and they're like, oh, okay, we'll take that penalty back. I don't know if I've seen something like that before. It's not like they took it back because McDavid didn't do the cross-check. We missaw it. No, he clearly cross-checked him, and they just took it back for no reason. Like, he clearly motioned for both players to go to the box. I don't know what is up with that, but that looks suspicious as heck.
Honestly, Chris, I could care less. The refs were.
I know. I'm just adding more stuff.
I know. It's a complete non-factor for me. I don't care. I mean, the Stars. Do I agree with you to a certain extent? Absolutely, yes. I thought it was a weak call, but I frankly don't care because of the way the Stars played.
I think it's a little bit of a factor because
hold on. They have shown through the last 2 series that they can overcome some bad calls by the refs or some bad plays by the refs. Okay? They have done 0 to make me believe that they can overcome anything. Doesn't matter. 0. They have, like, the Edmonton Oilers have gotten exactly what they need at the exact right time. And they have played the better team game than the Stars. That's just where we're at. I don't care.
It matters a little bit to me because the first period was definitely the Stars' best period tonight. They still got beat, but it wasn't like they got dominated in that first period. But that goal just kind of, and after the goal too. After that goal goes in for the Oilers, then it was all Oilers the last 5 minutes. So I feel like that was definitely, if you can find momentum shift in this game, that was the only one, was that power play goal. And I feel like it shouldn't have been a power play. And I think the ref who called the penalty didn't think it was going to be a power play. So that's just adding some more frustration, and trying to find some other thing to be mad at because I'm already upset.
Well, and see, that's the other thing. It's just there's no one single thing to be mad at. Yes, you can be mad at the refs. Yes, you can be mad at Ottinger. You can be mad at, whatever. There is not one thing that the Stars have been absolutely bad at that you can pinpoint and say that's the one thing that they've been bad at. They fix that, they can win the series. It's not. It is everything. It is literally and absolutely every single last bit of their play the last two games.
And after that, let's go to our biggest loser segment and pick one thing that the Stars have been bad.
I don't even know where to start though, Chris. I mean, yeah, I'll let you go first.
I mean, I'm just gonna piss you off again, Jake Ottinger, and not just because he sucked. How is Jake Ottinger losing to Stuart Skinner? That's gonna be my biggest question this offseason. If it does end on Sunday and we don't have a big performance from Otter, how did Ottinger lose the goaltending battle to Stuart Skinner?
Because the team in front of him is not shooting the puck the other way, and the team in front of Skinner is actually doing stuff to play defense.
Otter had ample chances to make some saves tonight. He had 0 big saves. Skinner had
He got
about
1 goal. He got 1 goal. That's all he got.
He didn't help us.
And 20 shots.
He allowed 3. You're not going to win a lot of hockey games when you allow 3 goals. Name your biggest loser, Ryan. Pick one thing.
I think my biggest loser is going to be this. I think the biggest loser is going to be the top players on this team. The depth of the Stars has shown how good they are in the playoffs. And here's why. Rope Hintz has not shown up these playoffs. Robertson has been inconsistent. He had a hat trick in the last game. That's the only reason why we won the last game. The last game that we did, excuse me. I mean, who else? I mean, Duchesne. I know he got the game winner against Colorado, and I was trying to back up also Pavelski. The best players for the Dallas Stars have not shown up, and they have not played their best. And when you look at the other side, Connor McDavid has scored 4 goals? That's it. And yet the Oilers are still beating the Stars 3-2 in the series.
He does have 8 points.
I think he has 4 goals in the entire playoffs, Chris. And he has 20
8
something
points in this series. He's dominating us.
So that's my biggest loser. Biggest winner. Here you go.
Stuart Skinner. I mean, he had some huge saves tonight. The Stars had chances to get back in it, and especially I think it was late in the second period where a goal there could have been a big deal to try and push for something in the third, and he made some crazy point blank saves. They almost pulled him after game 3. Fans were calling to pull Stuart Skinner after game 3. That is crazy.
I'm going to say my biggest winner is Wyatt Johnston, and I'll also give it to Jamie Benn and Logan Stankoven. They were the only guys that got anything going. And you know what? I'll give it to Miro a little bit too. Those 4 guys were the only ones I saw doing anything in the offensive zone to try and help out Ottinger. So I don't know. So what are you? Let's ask this because Motto is letting us know what's going on in the press conference, and apparently it's not pretty. Pete DeBoer being asked about questioning his team's character. I would be pissed off too. I'm not going to do it. Go ahead and write it, whatever the F you want. And apparently with that quote, there's a couple of people who their hope is renewed in Pete DeBoer at this point.
I mean,
what needs to happen in Game 6 for the Dallas Stars to win?
At least someone's showing that the character. I mean, what has to happen is you have to completely change the way that you played the last 6 periods of hockey, and that's what's going to be so difficult about it. You have to dead stop, completely flip what you're doing, and that's why I find it so unlikely to happen. We've had 2 straight games of this way that the Stars are playing hockey. It's hard for me to imagine they're able to pull out of that against a team that's going to be at home in Canada, all rooting for a team that is going to get to the Cup final for the first time in a while. I mean, how do you beat that in Game 6? I don't think you do. If there's ever been odds against you, I mean, these are the highest odds against you could get.
We also felt this way a little bit after Game 2 against Vegas, and the Stars were able to win the next 4 out of 5. But
it's different, in my opinion.
This
is way different. The Stars played well in the first 2 games of the Vegas series, and they got beat. But they played well. The Stars have not played well the past 2 games. They have played awful.
3 games.
This is different. They had a response in Game 3. They've had a terrible first period. The next 2 periods in Game 3 were pretty good, in my opinion.
I'm not giving up hope that this team is going to win Game 6, but my heart and my brain, whoever said it earlier just a second ago, my heart and my brain are telling me 2 different things. My brain is telling me, no, this is over in 6. My heart is telling me if you win Game 6, there's no way they lose Game 7. We always keep putting that stat out there that Pete DeBoer is 8-0 or 7-0 or whatever he is in Game 7.
Now.
Get to Game 7, see what happens. So you're not even looking to win 2 right now. You're just looking to win 1.
Yeah.
So that just has to be the mentality of the Stars. And they're literally playing for their playoff lives in Game 6 on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, second time the Stars have been on the elimination board. When this team needs to try and find some motivation to do that flip, like I was saying, to flip the way they play the last 6 periods, I mean, you're probably looking at the last game of Joe Pavelski's career if you don't show up on Sunday. That's probably what you're looking at, and a lot more. And we shouldn't get into the existential stuff yet because we haven't lost yet. But I mean, how do you not look at those? How do you look at those guys and not bring your best? That's crazy. Yeah, pull up Matto's most recent comment. Desperation can do some crazy things, but it's gonna have to do the craziest thing. You're gonna have to. The desperation is gonna have to flip the entire script of the way the Stars have played the last 2 games, and that just seems like such a long shot.
Let's do some comments, Chris, because I think people needs a little bit of venting here.
Welcome to Stars Therapy.
I'm glad the writer asked that. Someone needs to, talking about the comment that Pete DeBoer made. Zachary saying, I think the series is going 7. That's good for you. I'm not feeling that way right now.
Good for you. Wow.
I'm not trying to be rude. It's just it does not feel like it. Only way I watch Game 6 is if Starcastic live streams.
Y'all want to see me cry live?
Okay, fine, Nate. You got me. I'll at the very least do it. There will be a live stream for Game 6 against the Oilers for the Western Conference Final.
I'll try. I'm gonna be driving that day. We'll see.
And I will. If we lose, my crying will be live on the internet forever and ever and ever. Nate saying my heart can't take the lack of effort. That's the thing that pisses me off more than anything.
Because those puck battles and the forechecking and not chasing pucks, that is what it is. It's lack of effort, which is crazy in the Western Conference Final.
Talik Lizzie, give me fuel, give me fire. Zach Moore, I believe in this team. I don't know what happens in Game 7, but this team can do it. SDNG and 13. Fight on, young knight. Just going lay here and bleed a while, then rise and fight again. Yeah, definitely words of aspiration there. Definitely. I'm going to save that one for the end because that will be interesting. Put your heart into it. We are crazy hockey fans. Our team can do this. It's I'm trying, Zach. I really am trying to. Jake has to regain his villain mindset. That is a very good point. And if there's anybody that's good on the road, it is Jake.
Shocked we didn't see that tonight, honestly. I was expecting an Otter game tonight. Maybe that's why I'm more hard on him too, because that's what I was expecting.
Worst birthday present ever. I'm off to Tennessee till Wednesday for work. I got nothing. Uninspired hockey. That's sad for Ardell. That really sucks.
We sound negative? Weird.
Oh, really? Really?
Weird. I wonder why.
I would have never thought that. SDNGN 13. We can all cry together, but it's not happening. Let's see. This is Pav's last NHL game in all likelihood. I think the team will respond. That would really suck. That he goes out like this. That would absolutely suck for him.
It can't happen 9 periods in a row, right? Right? That's enough comments for me, man. I don't know.
Two more. Chance Johnson, we can absolutely win this series, but I need the team that made it past Vegas and Colorado to show up.
That's for sure. I don't know how we have gotten to Game 5 without that team being here, but man.
Okay. This comment right here gives me more hope than anything. Harrison coming in clutch. The Stars have only won one series ever where they were down 3-2 in Dallas history. And Chris, when was that? The 1999 Western Conference Final. And we know what happened in the Stanley Cup Final that year. That right there, Stars fans, warms my heart a little bit and gives me some hope right there. And I'm going to go do some research and see how people were feeling after Game 5 of that series in the Western Conference Final. So with that, we're going to leave the last comment at that. Anything else, Chris?
No.
All right. Thank you guys for listening along with us live here this evening. We had 129 at the highest here tonight. There's more of you who are listening afterwards. Thank you to DraftKings Sportsbook. Use that promo code THPN. If you like anything you've heard here today, please consider liking and subscribing. Follow us on social media. Go check out sarcasticremarks.com. That's our website. And as always, leave a 5-star review anywhere you listen to your podcasts. Along with Chris, my name is Ryan. We'll catch you guys on the flip side. We'll be back with you guys again. At the very least, I will be there. And I will be doing a live stream of Game 6. We'll see you guys then.